Fatherless by design, the statistics they ignore. Welcome back to the Dissolving the Family Structure series. I'm Adeline Atlas, and in this second video, we step deeper into the fracture point, fatherhood. More specifically, the erasure of fatherhood. This is not a social oversight. This is not an unfortunate byproduct of modern life. It is a strategy. Fatherhood has been systematically removed, not because it was weak, but because it was powerful. Let's begin with the numbers, the ones they don't want you to see. 85% of all youth currently in prison come from fatherless homes. 71% of all high school dropouts? Fatherless. 90% of homeless and runaway children? Fatherless. 63% of youth suicides? Fatherless homes. Source: www.nolongerfatherless.org statistics. These numbers are not scattered or coincidental. They are consistent. They point to a pattern of devastation that should be considered a public health emergency. But instead, it's barely mentioned. Why? Because the problem is not meant to be solved. It's meant to persist. Let's say this plainly: fatherlessness is policy. It is incentivized, funded, and quietly enforced by systems that benefit when men are removed from the home. Because when the father is gone, the state becomes the protector. The state becomes the provider. The state becomes the disciplinarian, the educator, the therapist, and eventually, the god. Now, most people assume fatherlessness is just the result of abandonment or poor choices. And yes, personal responsibility matters. But that's not the whole picture. We must look at how entire systems are designed to disincentivize father presence, especially in low-income and minority communities. Let's start with welfare policy. In the United States, programs like TANF, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, Section 8 housing, and food stamps are structured in ways that often penalize women for having a man in the household. In some cases, a single mother will lose access to critical benefits if it is discovered that the father is living in the home, even if he's providing. In other words, the system punishes family unity. This creates a perverse incentive: stay unmarried, stay dependent, and stay in the system. And when survival is at stake, many people comply, not because they want to, but because they're being coerced by structure. Over time, this isn't just a glitch, it becomes a norm. The single mother household is no longer an exception. It's the new model. The government becomes the surrogate husband. Then there's family court. In divorce proceedings and custody battles, the system overwhelmingly favors maternal custody, regardless of a father's commitment, capability, or presence. Many fathers are relegated to weekend visitation and years of child support payments, with little to no say in how their children are raised. Some are falsely accused. Some are legally erased. And most are financially punished for even trying to fight. We don't talk about this enough, because to talk about it would mean admitting that the father has become a legal liability, and that courts no longer prioritize child stability. They prioritize control. Let's talk cultural programming. Think about how fathers are portrayed in media. Go watch sitcoms from the last 20 years. Fathers are bumbling, clueless, emotionally unavailable, or simply not there at all. The competent, loving, strong father figure has been erased from pop culture. In his place, cowards, jokes, villains, or ghosts. This isn't accidental. If media teaches children that fathers are useless, and teaches women that fathers are optional, and teaches men that their masculinity is toxic, then fatherlessness becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't have to remove the man. You just have to convince everyone that he's unnecessary. Let's not forget education. Schools have become ideological battlegrounds. And increasingly, they serve as state-controlled substitutes for fatherly instruction. Teachers now address moral, sexual, and even identity topics that were once the domain of parents, especially fathers. Fathers taught discipline, boundaries, ethics, and purpose. Now schools do that, but filtered through political agendas. In this new model, a child is more likely to trust their teacher or guidance counselor than their own father. That's not education. That's usurpation. And the results? Catastrophic. The absence of a father doesn't just mean fewer birthday cards. It means children are less likely to succeed in school, more likely to fall into depression, more likely to act out violently, and more likely to be arrested. The psychological damage is real. Boys without fathers often grow up unsure of what it means to be a man. They may become hyper-aggressive, trying to prove masculinity. Or they may become passive, addicted, or aimless, afraid to step into the very role they never saw modeled. Girls without fathers often grow up seeking male attention from partners who cannot provide love, protection, or consistency. They may struggle with boundaries, attachment, and self-worth. And in both cases, boys and girls, the result is instability. And instability is easy to manage, easy to influence, and easy to control. Now here's the most chilling part. There is no national conversation. Despite the statistics, despite the fallout, despite the obvious connection between fatherlessness and societal collapse, no mainstream leader is addressing this as a crisis. It is ignored. It is minimized. It is, in some cases, celebrated as a sign of freedom or empowerment. Why? Because it's not supposed to be fixed. The fewer fathers in the home, the more children raised by institutions. And the more children raised by institutions, the more pliable the next generation becomes. What we're witnessing is not just family breakdown, it's family restructuring. A state-sanctioned, culture-reinforced reshaping of the household to remove the masculine principle altogether. Because what does the father represent? Protection, discipline, moral clarity, resistance, legacy. These are the very things that systems of control fear most. A strong father doesn't raise a programmable child. A strong father doesn't tolerate indoctrination. A strong father is a firewall between the child and the machine, so he must be removed. And once he's gone, the child becomes vulnerable to every influence the system has to offer: entertainment, ideology, dependence, identity confusion, emotional dysregulation. And the cycle continues. Now let me be clear. This isn't about glorifying fathers over mothers. Mothers are sacred. Women carry the spiritual dimension of nurture and intuition. But without the masculine complement, the structure collapses. Yin without yang. Flow without form. Compassion without correction. The attack on fatherhood is not just a social issue. It is a spiritual one. And until we recognize the policies and propaganda that are intentionally erasing the masculine presence, we will keep raising generations in the dark. Children who will grow up lost, fractured, and disconnected from their origin, their strength, and their path. Because without a father's presence, the path becomes harder to see. And without that path, the child wanders. Not because they want to, but because the light that once guided them was shut off, by design. This is dissolving the family structure. And in the next video, we follow that trail further, into the weaponization of motherhood. Because if the father is erased, the mother is overburdened. And the system offers her help, but always at a price. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones, the replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans, the merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.